All right, so we're going to do some basics of C++, leading up to algorithms and then going into the Unreal Engine. So the first thing we want to do is create a new project. At first, just so we can learn the basics of C++ coding, what we're going to do is we're just going to create a console application. And I'm going to go ahead and click Next. You can see here I've got a repos section set up. I mean, you can put it wherever you like. I tend to just leave it in the default repos. And then for the project name, I'm just going to do learn CPP, and then just hit create. Now let's just go ahead and run this so you can see what pops up. So you can see it says hello world, and this is the default that they give you. Now if you don't know anything about C++ programming, this is going to be a great start. So I actually just went ahead and gutted the entire file by selecting everything. You can do it in a couple ways. You can highlight everything. You can also just hit Control A and then press delete. Now the first thing you're generally going to be asked to do when you create a program in C++ is just put on a header. Now there's a couple ways to do this, and you do this through creating comment statements. You could do 2 forward slashes and you can write your name. And a lot of times in class, they'll say, they'll ask you for this format name, and then the class number. And it's just more about teaching you about, good programming structure, classifying your stuff. Another way of creating comments is just the forward slash and asterisk, and you'll see that completed it for me. And then inside of here, you can just write name. And generally, your professors really appreciate when you take the time to clean up your code and make it look really nice, because it shows respect for them in the class. And if you're going to a fairly good university, they're going to have connections in the industry and stuff like that. We have that for sure at our school. So, again, get to know your professors, and all that good stuff. So anyway, here's your name, and then program title, and then all that good stuff. So that's how you create a comment. So those are pretty much the two I mostly use. You can also put 3 slashes. And what's nice about this is you just press enter and it'll add it to each comment, each line. Now, the next thing we're going to do is include some libraries. These are just pre-created sections of code and stuff that you can use in your program. So the first one we're going to add is just type in include. So that's #include. And then you just want to type in IOStream. And this is just an input-output library that we use to print things to our console back and forth. Next, we declare something called a namespace. And what's nice about this is it's sort of like another way for us to organize our code. So we're going to just use the standard namespace. Now, because we're going to end or execute this line, you put a semicolon at the end, meaning you've completed that. It's kind of like a period at the end of a sentence, or or exclamation point or whatever. And the next thing we need is our main method. So as we type this out, I'm going to do my open and close brackets here. What this does, what our main method does is when we first create a C++ program, it first looks for main. It's the first thing that fires off. Later, there are things called constructors and other things that we're going to get into. But for now, just think about this as the main entry point into our program. And then we can do, inside of IOStream, there's something called Cout. And this stands for console output. So this is just a way of printing text to our screen. And so we can do something like this. Hello to our first program. Now, when I go to run this, you'll see that the program pops up and it says hello to our first program. So this is essentially the main block and how to print text to our screen. In the next video, we're going to take a look at how we can accept input from a user.